Hello, everybody. Jim Malone here, coming to you live on Dallas Trading Floor. Well, it is, I guess it's Wednesday, is it? Yeah. Forget what day of the week it is. Wow. April 6th. Yeah, so we're here and just kind of wanted to, oh, there we go. All right. So we're live. And for everybody watching on TikTok, we're simulcasting we're simulcasting live on YouTube at youtube.com/Dallas Trading Floor. For some reason I'm stuck there. Wow, look at it, Kazowie. Hopefully I'm going to get the cursor back here. Wow, Kazowie. Okay, so let's take a look at some of the stocks. I kind of want to look at the how the Nasdaq is doing today, just so we can kind of see that. Now, hopefully I can get my there we go. Okay, great. So we're live there, but I'm not live on the camera. I'm live on the chart, so that's a good thing. Definitely moved very, very nicely today. We're up significantly on the Nasdaq Composite, so we're starting to see, I think, a return back to kind of the way we were. We went through a little bit of a period here where it wasn't working, and now I think it is working again. So that indeed is a good thing. Let me see if I can make sure that I have my sound and everything up here properly, because sometimes that doesn't work. There we go. Yeah, that's good. And let's change the camera. Oh, goodness, quite gracious. We're not. I'm having an issue with the camera. It seems like we've lost connection with it. So let me see if I can get that up, and we'll be back here in just a sec. All right. Let's go with the... okay, well, goodness gracious. You would think this would be easy after doing it all this time, but it doesn't seem to be. So sometimes... there. Okay, so hopefully we're going to get a camera here, and... we'll see if we can get that back in just a second. Goodness. All right. So let's see if we've got a camera. All right. Standard resolution. That should give us a camera. Well, for some reason, I'm going to leave the studio here, and I'm going to come right. Sometimes, it's funny. The software, sometimes the software, it just doesn't, it has its issues. So thanks for holding on there. And let's get back to some of the charts like we're speaking about. And that is basically the Nasdaq Composite. So I kind of want to show you how that's been trading. Very nice today. Look at the weekly chart here as well. Okay, there we go. We've just pulled above the 50-day moving average. So this is very, very good, because this means basically it's time to, possibly start looking at some of the old favorites. I just want to show you a stock that's getting ready that everybody has, of course, heard of, and that's Apple. We're almost at a buy point on this one, and I just want to show you the chart on this one as well, because this is coming into a very good period. Well, come on. Let's see if we get Apple up. There we go. AAPL, of course, is the symbol. There we go. Okay, so here's Apple. We were trading right almost down to the 50-day moving average. That's on the weekly chart. But it seems as if with this movement in the Nasdaq, I think we're starting for it to move up. It's up 42 cents today. The key level on this is right about 127, and you can see that's 127. About 127.50 is where I think we can possibly start doing an accumulation of Apple again. It does appear that it is moved above. It is moved above. Oh, come on, there we go. A little bit of an issue. It does look like we may have a reversal on this, but you never can tell. Just wanted to show you this. Microsoft is all in. MSFT. There's a movement now back into some of these big cap techs that's looking very good. It's off a little bit today, but Microsoft just cleared this very critical buy point, 246.13. It's off a little bit today, but we've got the relative strength line moving back up. So it's a good time to possibly watch list Microsoft. It looks like it probably will go higher now that we're out of the woods kind of with this pullback in the market. So it's a good time to start looking again, to possibly make some buys in this area. So that's kind of the way it's moving in terms of that. So let's get to some of the questions, and thanks for holding on here. Appreciate it. Thanks for bearing with my technical issues. All right. So, hey, cheers, Tesla Bull. Finally into Tesla. Yeah, exactly. You're right. Well, I am a Tesla Bull, as I keep saying. And I was saying it over the months, and everybody's becoming skeptical. And I totally understand why. You're like, well, why wouldn't you get back into Tesla? Well, I was waiting for the market to turn up, especially the NASDAQ. So I am back in Tesla. I probably bought it a little bit too high. I was getting a little bit excited there. I bought it yesterday at 703, which is probably too high. But, I do think, now that we're touching that line, I think we're maybe back into Tesla, and hopefully we're going to see some good action. It's above this reversal line here that I've drawn. So I'm hoping it's going to hold this. It's pulling back a little bit. It's down 32 cents. So for Tesla, that's literally nothing, because it's such a volatile stock. But just kind of want to show you the 15-minute chart here. I probably jumped the gun. When it gapped up, I was like, Yahoo, I'm getting back in. And so I got in, and then immediately, of course, it dripped in. But I think it's going to hold this level. We did have some big, I do see some selling coming in here, and, who knows. But I do think that hopefully we're back, because this has been a great stock for last year, and it still has a relative strength of 95, and it looks like we're clearing above the 21-day exponential. We're still below the we're still below the 50-day moving average, but obviously the all clear is when it goes above the 50-day moving average. We're not there yet, but I made a pre-buy because I wanted to get in early. Hopefully I'm right. Hopefully I'm right on that. But I do think that, we can start possibly looking again at, the winners. Let's look at Amazon. And thanks for that. AMZN, of course, Amazon is a excellent stock. And it looks like it's finally pulled above the 50-day moving average. So I'm pretty excited about that. When they move above the 50-day average, I'm more excited. Now, it's in a consolidation. The true buy point on this one is 35.52.20. So that's kind of it's a long way to go. But it's above the 50-day line, so that's looking good. Here's the thing. Here's the way I think I'm probably going to play Amazon. I do think Amazon is finally bounced off of the 50-day moving average. So I'm going to try to put together a option strategy for Amazon. I don't currently have one on it, but I am going to be putting together an Amazon option strategy. And, of course, what I will do with that, of course, is if you're a member of our Discord group, of course, it'll all be in there, how I'm playing it, just the exact same thing. And that's basically, let's put up the right thing here. No, there we go. So that's start the camera. I can get back in. Wow. Okay. Well, I seem to be. Let me try the camera once again. Seems like I've had an issue with the camera. Let's see if I can. Let's see if I can go out and come back in and get the camera back for everyone, so you can see my beautiful mug. Let's. I'm going to be on, this beautiful thing. At least for right now, I don't have my camera. I lost my camera, so I'm going to have to go to an alternative, and that alternative, of course, is the avatar. So that's kind of how I'm going. So let's go back to the charts, and there we go. All right. So thanks for bearing with me there. Again, I'm going to be doing some option trades, and I'm going to show you how to do them. But it's at www.venny.com, and we do put some free stuff up there, but the Discord is you could maybe try that out. It might be kind of fun, and give you an option on that. So let's look at Amazon again. Again, I'm going to be doing a spread on this one, and hopefully just. All right. So I just have issues after issues. Okay, so I'm still up. All right. All right. Well, I'll just have to go to the avatar, and that's how we're going to have to do it today, because we do have an issue with the browser. So let's go to the screen. There we go. We're back. I want to take a look at Google as well, because we are breaking out. Of course, I have a bear call spread on this one, and this is put this out to everybody that was on the Discord group. GOOG is the symbol for it, and it's moved very, very nicely. It's still in the buy zone though, and one of the ways that you can possibly do this this spread is by going to www.venny.com, and I show this spread that I did on Google. I think we're going to see increasing. It's improving all the way around, and it does look much, much better for the big cap techs, and they were recently they have been very, very weak. So hopefully we're going to see more of that. So let's take a look at the next question. And thanks for bearing with me. Hi from Montreal. Hey, thanks on Ford and MP. Okay, let's take a look at Ford. I'm in Ford, as you know. I have a position in Ford, and it's on the small portfolio. It's doing very well today. The buy point on Ford basically is basically a 12.14. It's a relatively slow-moving stock, I'll be honest with you. But it's looking at some nice gains, and I think it will hold up. I think it's going to continue to move higher. This is going to be a little bit more slow pokey, but it's definitely holding up very well. The checklist is good on it, 7 out of 9, and the ownership, 1,477 funds in it. So quite a few. And by the way, I just got the notice of their annual meeting, so I think the Mach-E is going to be the star of that, hopefully, and we will see how that does. But looking quite good on that. So can you buy Ford at this point? Well, you can. It's technically not a great buy point. It's up about 1.38%. I have not done as well with Ford as I've done with some of my other stocks. It's not a very fast moving stock, but still quite a good stock. So it's been quite good. I wouldn't recommend selling it, but I don't necessarily think it's going to be the greatest stock for you out of the other thing. So let's look at MP and see how that is doing. Oops, boy, my machine for some reason is not cooperating. All right, this is a rare earth company. Haven't been much into these rare earth type of firms as of late. It's still got a relative strength of 94, so that's looking pretty good, but it has this downward trend. I don't like the fact that it has this downward trend. I Get back yet again. Issues, total issues with this broadcast today. I apologize for everybody. Just can't seem to make it work. So I don't know what's going on here. Here we go. All right, so let's try to get back and see if we can get some of the other questions. Let's look at BZH. All right, ZH. And that's Blazer Homes. Yeah, this is actually looking very good. Nice chart on this one, Kyle. 92 relative strength. So that is, not a bad place to be right now in Blazer. And yeah, so I definitely looks very good on the chart. It's pulled above its buy zone. The buy zone on Blazer is. You're just right above the buy zone, so we're just slightly extended. It is buyable at this point, Kyle, but you want to do it quickly because it is pulled above the buy zone on a consolidation. So that's looking pretty good. That's looking really good. Okay, I have some questions that are coming in from TikTok. So let me switch over to that just so everybody can see the TikTok questions, and let's bring those up. And basically on TikTok, we have, CAFID 2050. Do you success buying again and holding a major portion in cash? Well, right now the market has changed its direction, and we are moving out of we're moving out of a cash. We're moving out of cash right now because the market finally is starting to move in the right direction. A question, and I have a next question from Lars. Do you trade only stocks or do you do currency? Well, here's the thing about cryptocurrency. I do cryptocurrency, but I use what they call the GBTC, which is the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. And the way that works, of course, is that it holds about 4% of the world's Bitcoin. So GBTC is the symbol on that. It's off a little bit today, down about $2.22, but it's still possibly it's still below the buy zone. And I'll give you a show on that one. Here we go. Hold on. It's funny. I don't have my camera, but I've got at least one of the screens here. So this is the GBTC. This is how I trade Bitcoin. And basically, I entered really as it moved above the 40-day line. We're up a little bit. It's pulled back today, but we're still above the 21-day exponential and the 10-day line. So we're looking still pretty good on that. We're still looking pretty good on that. Let's take a question on MRO. And let's take a look at MRO. And MRO is basically Marathon oil. It's one of the oils, and it's quite a good one. I have to say. All right, it's looking pretty good. I still like Marathon oil. It's above the 22-day line, so I still like it, and we're about 29 days in front of the in front of earnings. Okay, we have a question. You told me about NIO when it was about $21. I'm still holding the bag. Will it hold out? Let's look at NIO again. NIO's pulled back a lot, and I do think it's probably time to be exiting your positions in NIO. It's $39.94 right now. I think if you've been in it since 21, you're doing very, very well. I think that the trend on NIO is downward, so I think you have to be a little bit cautious on NIO right now, and that is because with NIO, it is moving. It is moving lower, and I think you've just got to be just a little bit more careful on NIO. If I was in at 21 here, and this is what Patty Man says, Patty MMM says on TikTok, I would be considering possibly selling this right now because you have a double, which is excellent. It's $39. You're in it since 21, so you're looking at about 100% gain. I think that the potential right now for NIO is a little bit less. It's been in a downward trend. It went all the way up to basically 66.99. That was back almost in the first week of January, and it's pulled back since then. So I think it's probably a good time to probably exit the issue and wait for a rebound. But if you're bidding into 21, you're doing very, very well. All right, so should I cash 50%? This is the question. Yeah, I mean, go to cash right now and then wait for some other opportunities because the market, again, is once in change. It was pulling back, and now it's moving back into some of the bigger issues. So if you're in at 21 on NIO, you've done well, and it's currently $39.95. So it's a good time to take some of your stuff off the table. So that probably is a good idea. All right, well, let's take a look at CRM. Of course, that's Salesforce, and CRM has been has in the past been a better performer than it is currently right now. Right now, Salesforce is selling for $220.74. It's up about 45 cents today. It's still it's trading towards the end. It's a low part of a range. The trend on Salesforce right now is down, and it's below the 50-day moving average. So here's the thing: it depends on when you got into this, when you got in the stock. Of course, if you're down more than 7%, you ought to consider selling because it may rebound, but right now it's in a downward trend. So with a relative strength of 29, I would not be a buyer at this point of Salesforce. It's in a downward trend. Wait until it reverses to the upside. Then I think you can move into it. But right now, it's got a very weak relative strength at 29. Of course, many of the stocks in this area in the last 3 months or so have pulled back significantly. So there's been a movement out of the NASDAQ 100 into other things. So right now, it's probably not a buy. Why would you skip? No, I'm actually on CRM right now. And CRM is Salesforce. That's the symbol. And currently, I think that it's probably the best time to move out. What if I bought NIO at 57? Should I hold or exit? You should exit right now because you're down more than 7%. Anytime you get down more than about 7%, you ought to consider selling and waiting for a better entry. That's you should. It's a tough one, but that's why entries are so important. That's why I talk about buying on the reversal, buying as it bounces up, because when they pull back hard. So here's the thing: if I were down, I think NIO may recover. I think it may recover, but I think waiting around, there's going to be some other places where you can make some money. So I would consider possibly not waiting around on that one, and basically going to another opportunity. That's what I would recommend on. All right, so thank you for that, and let's take a call from Jeet. Thank you. Let's look at TROX, and TROX is the symbol here, and that's Tronox Holdings, Stamford, Connecticut, and they manufacture titanium dioxide. That's interesting. Okay, so they're kind of a play on that. It's up 6% today. That's terrific. That's on the week. So let's look at the action. Here's the thing. It looks like it's trying to form a. It looks like it's making a new high. This is probably buyable above 21.36 right now. It is looking very good. It's got 77% on the checklist. The ownership is strong. 328 people in it, funds in it, and we have got it's 76 out of 197. So this group has done extremely well. It's up 10% since the first of the year. This sector. So I wouldn't recommend going with everything in here because this could be a little bit of slowpoke, but this looks like a very good stock, and you know, the chemical especially has not been a good sector for a long, long time, but things have changed. So that's might be a good might be a good alternative. Let's look at SNDL, and this person got in at 161. So let's look at SNDL. SNDL is the symbol for a Canadian company. Basically, it's Sundell Growers. Here's the thing: I'm looking at this chart, and you know, it may return to its former glory, but a lot of these spot stocks have been hurt. I'd probably sell this one. Well, yeah, you're down 60%. No, I mean, you're down more than 60%. I mean, here's the thing: it just depends on how much you're willing to lose. This, you know, you bought it as it was moving higher, but it did reverse. This is why it's so important when you buy a stock to immediately place a 7% stock loss. So if you're wrong on the momentum, you'll be sold out at a good price. So I mean, you know, it doesn't, you know, it probably, at this point, you know, you could probably hold it, but you know, again, I always like to sell. So like if I bought a stock at $1, I want to have that stop loss hit at 93 cents, so that if it pulls back, then I'm out. And then what it does is that, my strategy on these stocks like this that are highly volatile is to buy it on an uptrend, and then put a 7% stop loss on it. Then as the stock moves up, I move that stop loss up, you know, first to my even money, and then profit, and then when it pulls back, I'm sold out at profit. So that's sort of how I typically play these very, very cheap penny stocks. You know, that's how I do it. All right, so let's look at Square. Square, of course, is not a penny stock. It's a very good stock, and it's done very well, but it's still it's been trying to make this reversal. And it is trading above the 50-day line. Now, this is probably the first place that I would start nibbling on it, okay? Because it's above that 50-day line. Now, if it can hold by the close, and it does look like it has, 136. Let's see if we can get a exact price on where that line is. It's 134. So it is definitely closed above the 50-day line. So here's what I would do on Square. It's looking very good with an 89 relative strength. Here's the thing I would do on Square. I would go in with a half or a quarter position. It has moved above the 50-day line. That's what you want to see. It's above the 200-day line, and it looks like we're going to hopefully see the 21-day exponential close above the 50-day and the 10-day above the 50-day. If that's happened, of course, it's off to the races. But right now, it's moving back to an upward trend. So Square's looking pretty good for me. But I wouldn't want to go in with a full position. Now, what do I mean by position? Well, if you take the value of your account, you divide it by 8, you're going to get 8 full positions. Kind of like pizza slices. So with Square, if you want to be in this area, and I think it's a good area, the only issue that I have, the finance credit card payment area of the market is in the bottom quartile. It's 146 out of 197 sectors. So it is not as good as other sectors, but I do like the stock, and I do like I do like Square. But be careful. Only buy it above about 234 because that's where it's showing the most promise. It needs to move up. It needs to move up from here, and it does look like it's made a reversal. So definitely something to look at. Cath Pap 1. Okay, and let's look at another question at Fastly, FSLY. I was in this one. I was shaken out, I'll be honest with you. I wish I had done better on this one, but this one has not performed as well as I would have liked. It's up 1 cent after hours at 70.45. I just don't like this chart right now, at least in the daily chart. Let's look at the weekly. Yeah, unfortunately, this is below the 50-day line. I just don't think if you're looking for an entry on this one, I just don't think you can. If you're down more than 7%, I consider lightening up your position, maybe even selling and waiting for a better opportunity. Right now, Fastly just is not viable based on where it is. It was up at 120. It's pulled back. I just don't think it's a good time to get into this stock. The chart is not looking very good. So out of these two, I think you've got to go with Square. I think it's your better bet. Out of the two. So thank you for that question. Very good question. Let's look at ALGN. ALGN is the symbol. And Hopefully I'll get that up. There we go, ALGN. And that's Align Technologies. Of course, they're the ones that make these, mail order braces. I guess that's all you can call them, mail order braces. The chart it's got a relative strength of 85. It's at 553.84. It's up $8.91. I don't know what's going on here. They must be doing something right, because this is looking pretty good. Here's the thing I think on this though. If this cannot hold the 50-day line, this may be a candidate for a short. I'll be honest with you. It's looking awful pumped up, but it's got a 100% checklist. So, I mean, what can you say? People like this stock. I probably would not be in this one, to be honest with you, but it's got some great funds in it. So I can't say anything really bad about it, but I would just be careful in this area. This area, again, it's in the bottom quartile of all the sectors. It's 113 out of 197 sectors. In the sector that's in is medical products, which there's some great medical products that I really like. One of them is RVP. Just checking out RVP, see how they're doing. That's Retractable Technologies, and they're not doing that great. They're almost hitting the they're almost hitting the 50-day line. I haven't looked at it in a few weeks. So, but medical supplies just don't seem to be doing quite as well as anything else. So with Align, I mean, it's looking very strong. I just am not really. It's not my cup of tea, but the stock looks good and the chart looks good. So I've got to say that Align, it looks good. It's in a consolidation range from about 494.45 on up to about 834. Wow, it's a lot. That's a huge range, and it looks like it's going to move above the. It looks like it's going to move above the 50-day line. So there you go. We got something from Assassin. Square broke out. Yeah, Square's looking good, I have to say. Well, let's see. Let's just take a look back at Square to see. Well, I wouldn't. That's not really a breakout, but let me go to the 10-minute chart to see. It's a good. Yeah, that isn't really a breakout. I wouldn't call that a breakout, but it's definitely a reversal. So Asset Shoots, I think that's it. Yeah, I mean that's not a break. That's not a that's not a breakout, but it is a reversal. It definitely is a reversal, and it looks like it is closed above the 50-day line. So if it closes above the 50 line and it holds it, it looks like it has. If it can hold it tomorrow, I think it might be very viable. So thank you for that from TikTok. All right, let's another question from TikTok. Thanks for watching today. SWCH is the symbol, and on TikTok. As a matter of fact, I could probably. Why don't I do that? Why don't I show you just for fun, because my camera doesn't seem to be working as well. I'm just going to share. I'm just going to show you kind of my look here, so you can see my beautiful mug. I have a separate camera as well, so I'm just going to go to the screen here, and then we can see everything. Yeah. Okay. There we go. Great. And I'm just gonna go like that. There we go. So you can see me on the other camera that I'm running. I'm running two cameras. There we go. And this is the TikTok feed as well. So this kind of works, and I may be doing this in the future, because this does. Oops. Well, it works when the camera is pointed the right direction. There we go. All right. So that's it's pointed the right direction. Yeah. So that looks a lot better on that. So thanks for holding on. Now I can see both. All right, let's look at PDD to see kind of what's happening there. So PDD is the Pinduoduo. I like saying that. It's kind of cool. It looks as if PDD, Pinduoduo, has the beginnings of a reversal. Okay, that's why I'm drawing the line here. So what I'm doing here is I'm going to set an alert on that line. And basically what that is you can see by drawing it from the top to the bottom here, it looks like it has moved slightly above the 21-day exponential. That's this green line here. So that's a very good sign. 144.97. So it may have made a turn. And look at that. It's 87. So if you've been out of the stock and been waiting to come back in, this might be an opportunity for Pinduoduo. I'd like to see a little bit more strength, but this one has been a monster, and it's got good. It looks like it's got good stats. I'm kind of liking this Pinduoduo. So this is probably buyable at this point. Pinduoduo is probably buyable at where we are. So very, very good. All right, let's take the next question from the chat on TikTok. Not on TikTok, on YouTube. Let's look at MNRL. Any thoughts? You seem to like it. Okay, MNRL. Let's look at it. MNRL, and I'm bringing that up right now. Hopefully that'll go. Yeah, that's Bingham Minerals, and it's basically royalty interest. I was talking about this one yesterday because I was talking about the Royalty Trust Group, and I kind of misspoke yesterday. This is an oil and gas area, and I do like this area. This is number 2. This group is the second strongest group right now out of the entire economy, which is called the Oil and Gas U.S. Exploration. So this area has done very, very well, and I mean, the charts don't lie. I mean, it's above the 200, it's above the 50, it's above the 10, and above the 21. So this is you could definitely make a case for buying at this point. The only thing I don't like on this chart is the relative strength at 65. Everything else I pretty much like on this. It's got a little bit of a weak checklist. It's only 55% on the checklist. I like to see 60, but this is a commodity place, so it's got 195 funds in it. So I actually really like this one. I just want to take a quick look at one that I bought about a week ago, and it should be. I think it's number 1 in the group. In this particular group, it's called DEN, and that is Denbury Resources, and it's up a little bit today. Well, a little bit, not much. Denbury Resources, and this, of course, is in the same group. This is probably the top rank in this particular group. And it's Denbury Resources. This one you might want to take a look at. Unfortunately, there's not a really good place to buy it. I bought it as it moved above 46.27, so kind of give you a look at that. All right, Levi, thank you very much. Which stock do you like most in your list of stocks under $10? Wow, actually somebody reads this. This is super excellent. I liked the one I really, really liked. And this is kind of a strange one. Let me pull this up here. Okay, I'm looking at my little notes here because I make all these little notes and I put them on paper and then I don't look back at them. That's terrible. But the one I'm looking for is okay. Hold on. CPE. What I'm looking for is Ag Systems. And I'm just trying to find I'm trying to remember the symbol on that one. So let me see if I have it here. No, I don't think so. So let me pull up that list. I think it's Ag Systems, I believe. Something like that. Let's see if I can turn this off. I think this is the problem. I've got this. There we go. Quit that. There we. Hey, you know what? I wonder if I get my camera. I'm another. There we go. Hopefully I should be up now. Hopefully this hopefully this is giving me something. So I just my sound keeps going in and out. My camera doesn't work. So wow, it's there we go. Okay, so let's talk about this one again. Again, I'm just having technical issues here. Apologize. TWI, Titan International, and it does it is doing quite well. So this is a cheap stock that you might want to consider as well. So let's take a look at the next question. Thank you for bearing with me. God, I just sometimes can't hear your words you're saying. Yeah, I'm so sorry. Hopefully, I'm still up. Yeah, I'm still up on the audio. All right. Sorry about that. Let's look at RIP, RIP. RIP. Let's see. Nope. I guess I think maybe Ripple Coin. I'm not sure what that is. RIP. No sound. Okay. Well, hopefully I have sound now. Let me check sound again. Again, I'm just having some issues. Yeah, that should be okay. I should have sound there. Let's see if that works. All right. Okay, you got sound now. Okay, thank you. Sorry for all these problems. Just my camera went out, and that has a microphone inside. I had to go to a backup microphone, so sorry about that. All right, let's take a look at some of the. Just want to see kind of where we're at. Okay, we're 49 cents. Okay. Will C3 AI reach 150 again ever again? Maybe, maybe not. Sometimes, here's the thing. Many years ago, I had Microsoft. I ran it all the way up, and then it declined, and then I sold it. And 18 years later, it regained exactly where it had gone. It took 18 years to get back to where it had been, and that was one of the best stocks in the world. I don't like the chart on AI. I was in this one, and when I was down more than 7%, I ripped out of it, and I was gone. So this is the reason I say to everybody, if you're down more than 7%, just consider pulling out and finding something else that's going to work, because this one, everybody loves this one, but this one just has not done well, and it's got a relative strength of 1. I think you can do better than this one. I just think you can do better than this one, and unfortunately, it's just been it just really hasn't worked. It just really hasn't worked. So that's just it's just unfortunate. That's all I can say. That's all I can say. All right, made 17K on ENTX to balance it. Hey, nice. Okay, well that's very good. Does studying finance worth it? Well, here's the thing about finance. I have a degree. I have an MBA, actually, believe it or not. And it's an MBA from Cal State Hayward. Actually, it's called Cal State East Bay right now. And very good school and everything like that. And I studied, became an accountant, the whole thing. You know what? It's better to study how to trade options, because you're going to make more money. And what they do in college is that they hang out there and they say, take this finance course and you'll be a great trader. No, most of the finance majors that I have met, they end up doing accounting. Okay, and they're not even very good at it. So I would not recommend studying finance. What I would recommend, though, is studying some of the option traders. I really think that's worth studying. So I think that you might want to. The only degree I would consider would be a degree in applied finance, and I just don't know how many, and study options. That's what I would do. Study options, applied finance. So, like work in a bank and everything. Exactly. Most of the people that work in a bank, they're not even bankers. It's not their money. They don't make money. They take care of money for other people that are rich. So I'm not trying to be cruel about this, but I've made more. I was a financial analyst, and I worked for 3 of the big 4 accounting firms, and I got the MBA. I did the whole thing, and you know what? I made more money trading last year than I ever made working for the big companies. I'm not saying that they're bad. That's just the way it is. That's just the way. That's just the way it is sometimes. Okay, so let's go and see if we got some more ones. So here we go. Thanks, Real Madrid. I don't know what the symbol is on that one, unfortunately. So let's look at Palantir. Thanks, Levi. Appreciate it for that question. I'm sorry I've had so much problems today. Um, I don't know if my camera's giving out or what. I don't know. I do not know why I'm having so much trouble with my camera, but I switched to the iPhone, and again, the iPhone always works, and everything else not so much. So, oh well. Let's take a look at Palantir. Palantir is it's kind of fallen and has to get up. I've got a little alert here that's basically at the 50-day moving average. I'm really not interested in buying Palantir again until it moves above the 50-day. It looks like it may have reversed. I do like the company, but I just don't like the stock action. It still has a relative strength of 88, but I just think it's not time for this one. There's just better places to be in the market right now. I mean, right now, the big cap techs are starting to be favored once again. I think I know this is boring, but I think you got to look at Microsoft, because Microsoft is right now in the buy zone, and it's a solid company. I'm not saying that Palantir isn't, but it's not Microsoft, that's for sure. And right now, it looks like Microsoft is going to continue its upward trend. So if you want to kind of park some money and be in the tax, I think right now Microsoft might not be a bad place to be. It's not very volatile. It's probably not going to double, but it's looking pretty nice in terms of everything. So my thoughts on Palantir right now is, consider, possibly consider something else. Possibly consider like a Microsoft, at least for initial buy. Are you critical about? Yeah, I am, unfortunately, because it isn't in the buy zone. After the cancel method, or in general. Well, I have nothing against it in general. I don't have anything against it. I've owned it before, but I typically use CanSlim methodology. So I like the product, but here's the thing. I had the product right before they announced, and this was when they lost TikTok as a customer. I think the problem with this one is that it got a little ahead of itself. It's a little overhyped right now, and I think some of the air is going to come out of it a little bit. It looks like it has peaked. I have to be honest with you. It does look like it's peaked. It looks like we may be in a sell-off mode here. We're below. Part of the reason I typically never buy a stock below this black line, and that is that's the 200-day moving average. So technically, the chart for Fastly is not looking good. I'm sorry to say, it's just not looking good. Another question. And I would have no problem to wait until Fastly go green again, as long as you at least long. Yeah, okay. Well, I mean, if you want to wait a long term, but I just don't like. I like to if a stock isn't performing right, I like to get out of it and I move into something that is. So that's just that's the way I do it. All right, let's look at Dash, DASH. And believe me, I was in Fastly, but I am primarily a momentum trader, so I want to see an upward momentum before I come into it. This is an IPO, of course, it's DoorDash, everybody's heard of it, and it's a pretty amazing company, but it's got a relative strength of 3, so I just can't really. It's just one of those things where sometimes in the market, IPOs work, and other times they don't work as well. And right now, I think we're in one of those periods of time where, the stocks just aren't working quite as well on, I just don't think they're working quite as well on that, in that way. I think that they're having, they're struggling, and in that way, it's kind of a difficult, it's a difficult thing. All right, you can get there if you save and invest consistently. I think so too. Here's something that somebody told me years ago, and I tried to do this. I wasn't totally religious on this. I wish I was. Is think of every dollar, and think of 30 cents. So for every dollar that you touch, every dollar that touches your hands, you want to take 70 cents of it, and that's what you live on. And then you want to take 30 cents of it, and you want to do 3 things. One, you want to invest at 10% in something like the market, or maybe even 15% if you're doing well. Another 10% you probably want to you probably want to invest in something that is in, that's going to affect you directly, like your own business or possibly something like that. So that's what you do with the other 10 cents of it. And then 10% you probably want to have as discretionary, either to give away or to do something else like that. If you do that over a lifetime, you'll have plenty of investment capital, and you probably become very rich. Now, one of the people that kind of came up with this idea is Templeton. I think he's dead now, but he actually saved 50% for every dollar he touches. He spent 50% of his what he made, and he invested the rest. And by the time he was 30, he was one of the richest fund managers in the world. And this has been years ago, of course. But so your source of if you spend 100% or 110% of what you make, it's going to be very, very difficult to ever get out of that cycle. Remember, it's cash flow that counts. So you want to lower your overhead as much as you can, and then take a portion of that and then put it in the market. And over time, you'll do very, very, very well. You do very, very well. So that's kind of my 2 cents. And it's not an original idea at all. Not even close. All right, let's look at TSM. This is Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing, TSM, and a great company. And they make a lot of chips for other companies. So like an NVIDIA doesn't have its own chip foundry, but they use Taiwan Semi and other companies, primarily Taiwan Semi. Now, interestingly enough, this space is heating up in terms of competition. Intel just announced that they're going to spend $20 billion to build 2 new fabs down in Chandler, Arizona, very nice place near Phoenix, and they're going to make chips for other companies. So it's going to give TSM a little bit of competition. This is still a fabulous company, and it looks like it may have reversed. Okay, this is the key. It hit its peak at 142.19, and then it's been pulling back, and it looks like we may have reversed. Now, the key on this is to buy it above the 50-day line. It looks as right now that the 50-day line is currently at about 123. So we're just right below that, and if it moves decisively above that, I think this is potentially a buy. It's got a relative strength of 81. That's a little bit concerning. I like to see 80 or better, and of course it's there. But this checklist is excellent at 100%. So I really do like this company. Taiwan Semi, I think, is an excellent bet. And I do think now that we have seeing strength in the Nasdaq, where TSM lives, I think that this might be a good potential, at least to do some small buying in here. All right, I have a question from AceMan20 on TikTok, and thank you very much for this. When do you usually take profit? Here's how I do it. If a stock runs up more than 20% in less than 8 weeks, I hold on to it. But if it takes 8 weeks and it runs up 20%, I typically will sell half of the position, between 20 and 25%. And then if it moves above, and so that's typically where I take my first profits, is when the stock is up 20%, but only after 8 weeks. If it runs up 20% in less than 8 weeks, then I keep it, and then I wait until it takes about it takes that. Now here's how I protect my profits. As the stock is moving up, when I first buy the stock, I set the stop loss approximately between 5 and 7% below where I bought it. And then as the stock moves up, I move that stop loss up, and eventually the stock will reverse, and I will take profits that way. That's the way I can hold on to many of my profits. So that's kind of a very, very good question. Thank you for that. What's your thoughts on ST for a long position? Now, ST is also a semiconductor stock. And oops, let me get that up right. ST. ST is also Synthesis. Oh, I'm sorry, manufacturer pressure. Oh, okay. I thought it was STI. I apologize. I had wrong symbol on this one. Don't know much about this one. It looks like it produces sensors, which is a good area, and it's electronics miscellaneous products 52 out of 197. This is looking pretty strong. I mean, the only issue that I have, it's a relative strength of 69. It's above the 200-day average. I like that. But I don't like this checklist. It's 40-40. Here's the thing. I wouldn't buy this one. I would watch list this one, but it's a good stock. I just don't think it's going to be the right stock. All right, question on NVAX. Let's look at NVAX. NVAX is develops, manufactures Okay, so this is in the biomedical area. Under low. This is a little bit low in terms of the group. Oh, yeah, Invex. Okay, yeah, I have a buy on this. I have a trending line here, and we're well below it. So right now, I think you just got to wait. It's got a relative strength of 98. But if you're in it and you're down to less than 7%, I'd definitely keep it. But I would be careful with this one right now. I want to see this a little bit more strength before I buy it. It looks, but it's not a bad chart. Let's look at the weekly. Yeah, okay, it's pulled back. We're still above the buy point. I think right now it's a watch list. Yeah, I think it's a watch list on this one. So let's look at Veeva Systems, VEEV. VEEV, and I've been in this one too. This is a good stock. This is a company that creates software for the drug and the drug discovery industry, and it's done very, very well as of late. But right now it's trading below the 50-day moving average. So if you're not in the stock right now, I wouldn't necessarily initiate a position. But if you've been in the stock a while and you're up somewhat, I see no reason not to hold this. The biggest issue that I have right now is just trading below the 200-day moving average. Now, that said, we did have a pullback. We are starting to see upward motion, and this is going to trade with the market. So, this is not necessarily a bad chart, but I would not initiate a new position. I would not buy here, and it's just got to move above that 200-day moving average, really, for me to be more excited about it. But the 50-day is still above the 200 days, so that's pretty good. So I wouldn't initiate a new position here. That's my feeling on that. All right, well, I've gone a whole hour, and technically speaking, I've done horribly, but I think I may have I've figured out a way to do this and without using the camera, just using my iPhone to simulcast both to TikTok and to YouTube. So I think that I may have a better solution now than I had before. So thank you everybody for sticking around. And I do have one thing out there. We have started a new Discord room, and that's where I show actually the details of the trades I'm making, how much I made, how much I lost, that kind of thing. And that's available at www.vinny.com/Del's Trading Floor. So until tomorrow at 2:30 Central, and hopefully everything will be working. My system, it hasn't been. Happy trading, and hope to see you soon.